Very good morning class. This lecture is about system analysis and design and the code for this subject is TCS 462. Myself Dr. Sachin Sharma. We are discussing Unit 2 System Development Life Cycle. Components of a decision table. It has different components. Condition step, it is in the upper left quadrant, which lists all the condition to be checked. Action step, it is in the lower left quadrant, which outline all the action that to be carried out to meet such condition. Condition entry, it is in upper right quadrant, which provides answer to questions asked in condition step quadrant. Action entry, it is in lower right quadrant, which indicates the appropriate action resulting from the answers to the condition in the condition entry quadrant. So these are the four components: condition step, action step, condition entry and action entry. System design, it's a phase that bridges the gap between problem domain and existing system in manageable way. This phase focuses on the solution domain, that how to implement. It is the phase where the SRS document is converted into a format that can be implemented and decides how the system will operate. In this phase, the complex activity of a system development is divided into several smaller sub-activities which coordinate with each other to achieve the main objective of the system development. It's a view graph of the system design. So it starts with the identification of the design goal, system decomposition, identification of concurrency, hardware allocation, data management, global resource handling, software control implementation and boundary condition. So these are the components, these are the steps that needs to follow while this system design. Inputs to system design. So there are four inputs: statement of work, requirement determination plan, current situation analysis, and proposed system requirement that includes a conceptual data model, that is modified data flow diagram and metadata. The output for system design, it gives the following output: infrastructure and organizational changes for the proposed system, a data schema, often a relational schema, metadata to define the tables, files and columns data items, a function hierarchy diagram or web page map that graphically describes the program structure, actual or pseudocode for each module in the program, a prototype for the proposed system. So these are the output of system design. There are different types of system design. Logical design. Logical design pertains to an abstract representation of the data flow, input and output of the system, which describe the input as a source, output as a destination, and the database as a data storage, procedures as a data flows, and all in a format that meets the user requirement. While preparing the logical design of system, a system analyst specifies the user needs at level of details that virtually determines the information flow into and out of the system and the required data source. Data flow diagram, ER diagram, modeling are used. So it is very important to understand that while doing the logical design, the data flow diagram and ER diagram should elaborate sufficiently to understand the purpose of the system design and also the process of the system design. Physical design. It relates to actual input and output process of the system, which focus on how data is entered into a system, verified, processed and displayed as output. Physical design produces the working system by defining the design specification that specifies exactly what the candidate system does. It is concerned with user interface design, process design, and data design. Physical design consists of few steps: specifying the input output media, designing the database, and specifying backup procedures, planning system implementation, devising a test and implementation plan and specifying any new hardware and software, updating cost, benefits, conversion dates, and system constraints. So these are the steps of the physical design. Architectural design, it is also known as high level design, which focus on the design of system architecture. It also describes the structure and behavior of the system. You have to understand that point. The design that we are talking, it is happening based on the characteristics of design. So every design has different characteristic, different procedures, different process, and based on that, these variation you can see in the design. Architectural design defines the structure and relationship between various modules of system development process. Detailed design, it follows architectural design and focus on development of each module. Conceptual data modeling. It is representation of organizational data which includes all the major entities and relationship. Before designing the system, entities, components, relationships should be well defined. What are the responsibility, what will be the roles of each component? So every step has to be defined. System analysts develop a conceptual data model for the current system that supports the scope and requirement for the proposed system. The main objective of this modeling is to capture as much meaning of data as possible. Most organizations today use conceptual data modeling using ER model, which use spatial notation to represent as much meaning about data as possible. Entity relationship model, which is also called ER model. It is a technique used in database design that helps describe the relationship between various entities of an organization. So as you see here that entities should be well defined and how they are connected to each other, and when they have to report, when they have to merge in terms of functionality, everything should be defined. The terms used in ER model are entity, which is specify the distinct real world items in an application, for example vendor, item, student, course, teachers. Relationship, they are the meaningful dependencies between entities, for example vendor supplies item, teacher teaches courses, then supplies and course are relationship. Attributes, it specifies the properties of relationship, for example vendor code, student name. Symbols used in ER model and their respective meanings. Three types of relationship can exist between two sets of data: one-to-one, one-to-many, and many-to-many. File organization, which describe how records are stored within a file. There are 4 file organization methods: serial, sequential, direct, indexed. Serial, where records are stored in chronological order, for example recording of telephone charges, ATM transaction, telephone queues. Sequential, these records are stored in order based on a key field which contains a value that uniquely identifies a record, for example phone directories. Direct, each record is stored based on a physical address or location on the device. Address is calculated from the value stored in the records key field. Randomizing routine or hashing algorithm does the conversion. Indexed, records can be processed both sequentially and non-sequentially using index. So these are the 4 file organization methods. So here is the comparison between serial, sequential, direct and index. and there are different category: type of access, data organization, flexibility, availability of up-to-date data, speed retrieval, activity, volatility. Examples: for serial, the type of access is batch, sequential is batch, direct is online, for index is batch or online. Data organization: for serial is serial, sequential is sequential, direct there is no particular order, for index there is sequential and by index. If we talk about the flexibility in handling queries, in serial sequential there is no, for direct indexing yes. Availability of up-to-date data: for serial it's no, for sequential is no, for directed indexing is there is availability of up-to-date data. When we talk about the speed retrieval, there is slow for both serial and sequential. For direct it's very fast, for indexing it's fast. So it's better than compared to serial and sequential. When we talk about the activity, there is a high activity for serial and sequential, and there is low for direct, and for indexing it's high. When we talk about the volatility, then for serial, sequential is low, for direct, indirect is high. For example, for serial it's ATM transaction queue, for sequential it's payroll process, script billing operation, for direct it's online reservation and banking transaction, and for indexing is customer ordering and billing. File access: one can access a file using either sequential access or random access. Sequential access: every record on the file is processed starting with first record until the end of file is reached. It is efficient when a large number of records on the file need to be accessed at any given time. Direct access, where records are located by knowing their physical location or addresses on the device rather than their position relative to other records. Data stored on a CD drive, which is direct access, can be accessed either sequentially or randomly. There are type of files in an organization system. Master file, which contains current information. For a system, table file, it is a type of master file that change infrequently is stored in a tabular format. Transaction file, it contains day-to-day information generated from business activities. Temporary file, it is created and used whenever needed by a system. Mirror file, they are the exact duplicates of other file. Log file, they contain copies of master and transaction records in order to chronicle any changes. Archive files, backup file that contains historical version of other files. Documentation control. Documentation is a process of recording the information for any reference or operational purpose. It helps user managers and IT staff who needs it. After the implementation of system, if the system is working improperly, then the documentation helps the administrator to understand the data flow in the system. Programmers or system analysts usually create program and system documentation, and system analysts usually are responsible for preparing documentation to help user learn system. Advantage: it can reduce system downtime, cut cost and speed up maintenance tasks. It provides clear description of formal flow of present system and helps you understand the type of input data. It provides effective and efficient way of communication between technical and non-technical users about system. It facilitates the training of new user. It helps the user to solve the problem such as troubleshooting. It provides better control to the internal or external working of system. There are different types of documentation when it comes to system design. There are four main documentation: program, system, operation and user documentation. Program documentation, which describe input, output and processing logic. The program documentation process starts in a system analysis phase and continue during implementation. This documentation guides programmers who construct modules that are well supported by internal and external commands. Operations documentation contains all the information needed for processing and distributing online and printed output. It includes the following information: program, system analyst, programmer and system identification, scheduling information for printed output, input files, their source output files and their destinations, email and report distribution list, special forms required including online forms, error and informational message to operators and restart procedures, special instructions such as security requirements. User documentation, it includes instruction and information to the user who will interact with the system. The users, system owners, analysts, programmers all put combined effort to develop a user's guide. A user documentation should include a system overview, description of source document, overview of menu and data, example of reports that are produced regularly, security and audit trail information, explanation of responsibility, procedures for requesting changes, example of exception and error situation, FAQs, explanation of how to get help and procedure for updating the user manual. System documentation serves as a technical specification for the information system. It describes each program within the information system and entire information system itself. It describes the system function, the way they are implemented. It includes the data dictionary entries, data flow diagram, object models, screen layout, source document, and the system request. Most of the system documentation is prepared during the system analysis and system design phase. During system implementation, an analyst must review the system documentation to verify it is complete, accurate, and up to date. So that's it for the day. I hope you have enjoyed the lecture. Thank you.